Last night, I went to bed, and I woke up this morning a little too early after 6 hours of sleep, which is not enough for me. I need at least 7 hours, hopefully eight. 8 is the goal, but uh, actually 7 is the goal for me because I can function very well with 7 hours of sleep. But if I get 8 hours or more, that's a bonus. Um, but I woke up a little too early, and I had a little anxiety last night. I did go back to sleep, and I dozed off a couple more times, and I was able to get my 7 hours or close to that. I'm still a little sleepy, have sleepy eyes, still a little bit, but that will wear off. I got my coffee, and I haven't talked about this before, but I have an anxiety disorder, that I've had for as long as I can remember. I don't know if I had it when I was a kid, but at least since being in my 20s, looking back. And it's something that I probably will have my whole life. And I wanted to talk about this because I think that some people, or maybe even a lot of people, will be able to relate to this. It is a common thing. And I don't like to say the term mental illness, because that's like labeling something, and it's not necessary. We all have struggles, we all have pain that we carry with us. We all struggle with our inner demons, whatever you want to call it. People present this facade. I know I do it, that I have this image, and you can look like you're very well put together, and you look at someone's Instagram or social media, and everything looks good and fabulous, and like, oh wow, this person has a great life. And everyone, rich, poor, whoever you are, you still are a human being, and we still all suffer from sometimes the same things. And for me, it's anxiety. It's always been anxiety. It's better now than it used to be. My anxiety can get really bad, to the point that it affects my sleep. It disrupts my life. At some point when it was at its worst, I was just literally having intrusive thoughts all the time. And I remember, I used to work at this grocery store, and I used to be running people. I was not a cashier specifically, but we would all like rotate and do all kinds of stuff at the store. Nobody was just doing one thing. We would just all be doing the cash register, and then I would move and go to deli, and then the next hour you would be working groceries, whatever. So sometimes I'll be running like people through my line, and I'm just doing my job, and I can't even be interacting with them. And in the back of my mind, like, I would be having all these intrusive thoughts, and I would just have this internal turmoil, all this going inside that nobody can see. Nobody can see that, maybe unless you know me well. Maybe then you would be able to see it in my eyes, just like the pure anxiety running inside. And again, there doesn't have to be a reason. Nothing has to be wrong. Nothing, everything can be just great, and you still can feel like this. The same with depression. When people, I've been depressed too, so I know what it's like. But like I said, my thing is mainly just that I suffer from a lot of anxiety. But and people will be like, oh, snap out of it, or and doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I wish it was just as simple as that. But there are some things you can do, to make it better. For me, working out is one of those things that helps, just concentrating on my fitness goals. I mean, coffee doesn't really help with anxiety, you know, but it's one of those things that is hard to kick. Alcohol is not good for you. I've talked about this. I've been alcohol free for 8 months now, and I don't know that I'm never gonna drink again, but for now I'm not drinking, and it's one day at a time, and alcohol, yeah, it doesn't help with anxiety, it doesn't help with depression. So I'm sure a lot of you can relate to what I'm speaking, and this is not a poor me video, or anything like that. I was just, it's been in my mind sharing this, and because I think people also go through the same, and maybe whatever I say can help someone or put into perspective, and just to let people know that not everything is as it seems. You can look at people online, and they look like everything is great, and they can still be suffering inside, and just to let you know that you're not alone. There's things you can do if you're suffering from anxiety, like me, or like thousands of other people. There's things you can do. There's medication, you can do counseling. Unfortunately for me, I was just doing counseling. I had a therapist now for the last few months, and it was great because he's gay, and I had just gotten to that point where I was comfortable with him. And then my medical insurance changed, and he doesn't take that insurance, so now I'm not able to see him anymore unless I want to pay out of pocket, and I can't. I didn't realize that my insurance wasn't being taken, and I got slapped with like a $300 medical bill, that now I might be stuck with that. And that's crazy that that it will cost that much. The health system is just like messed up in this country, but I'm pretty sure that if you live in the US, you're aware of that. But that's a topic for a different video. I don't want to get into that right now. But the point is that I'm without a therapist, and yes, I could go and look. I'm fortunate. Listen, I'm fortunate that I have medical insurance, so I'm very thankful for that. And I could go and look at the in-network providers, but I don't want to go through that again. Like, I just went through that, like having to tell my life story to someone, and it's hard, because you don't know this person doesn't know you. So like, even with this therapist that I had, it took me a while to at first I think that he wasn't getting who I am, and he was forming ideas of me that I knew were incorrect, and we were starting to get each other. He was starting to get who I am, and understand, and I was starting to trust more. And I don't want to have to go through all that again. It's a long process, it takes months, and for now I just can't put myself through all that again, so I'll stay without a therapist. But like I was saying, there's things you can do if you suffer from anxiety like me. Even when my anxiety is lessened, it's always there to some extent. But just know there's things you can do, changes you can make in your life. Remember, alcohol, drugs are that's self-medication. It's like a patch, it's like a temporary patch. Doesn't work. When it wears off, then sometimes your anxiety is worse. Now there are medications, psychiatric medications, and that's different than like street drugs, you know. But if you're gonna go down that route, just make sure that you have a good psychiatrist. um, you know, I can talk more about that in a different video. But you know, sometimes depending on how bad your anxiety or depression is, it can help, it can be life-saving, you know, to go on those kind of medications, SSRIs and all that kind of stuff. But you know, but that's something that you gotta have a good doctor to, you know, if you're gonna go down that route. If you don't want to, a lot of people don't like medications, there's a lot of things you can do, you know. You can work out, you know, make sure you drink plenty of water, avoid alcohol, you know. If you're depressed, if you have a lot of anxiety, if you're suffering, don't suffer in silence, you know. um, Pick up the phone, call a friend, you know, go for a walk, go see a movie, get out of the house. Don't stay in the house ruminating, you know, because that's what I do. Like when, you know, something's bothering me, I you know, I stay like inside my head, like trapped in a loop with ruminating thoughts. And you know, if I have a problem, I'll just be like dissecting it from every possible angle. And you know, that's what it's called, OCD. You know, a lot of people think that OCD is like, oh yeah, I'm so OCD because I like to clean everything and everything has to be neat, and you know, my towels have to be folded, color coordinated. And like, that's BS. Like, that's not OCD. You don't have OCD. You don't know what real OCD is like. You know, real OCD, yeah, sure, there are compulsions, but that's not the only kind of OCD. You know, for me, it's just like I get stuck, you know. I can get stuck on something, an obsession about something, and it could be days, it could be months, even years, you know. And I've learned that it's anxiety, and that's something that I was learning also in therapy, you know, just how to cope, how to manage those things, how to recognize when you are having anxiety. You know, say it out loud, write it down, whatever thoughts you're having, write them down and recognize that it's anxiety. Don't try to analyze those thoughts. Don't try to like understand why you're having them. Just realize that whatever anxiety thoughts or obsessions you're stuck in, that is just that, it's just anxiety. It doesn't mean anything. Don't try to find out the reason why, because then you're giving it more power. You're fueling your anxiety. And that's one step to get out of that loop, out of that circle. You know, just write it down and then just acknowledge that it's anxiety and move on. You know, move on. Try to make changes, try to do positive things. You know, like I said, call a friend, have a good circle of friends, or even if it's just one friend. You know, nowadays it's hard to make friends, but have someone you trust. Don't trust just anyone. Be careful who you open yourself to, because you can't trust people, even people that you think you can trust. Sometimes don't share too much, you know. Don't get diarrhea of the mouth and be sharing all your personal stuff to people, because sometimes people will use that against you. You know, sometimes people you know, will use information like that against you, you know. Definitely don't talk stuff like this to like people in your workplace, you know, unless it's someone that you're really close to and you can actually really trust. But you never know who wants to you know, not everyone wants to see you do well. Not everybody wants to see you do well, so please don't trust everyone. But don't suffer in silence. You're not alone. I feel you. Get out of the house, go for a walk, go hike, go ride your bicycle. Like me, that's one of the things that I love the most. You know, sing. You know, if you like to sing or play an instrument, do that. You know, take a class, you know, try to learn a language. And you know, if you can't afford to do things like that, you know, just you can do a lot of things online nowadays. You can find a lot of things on YouTube. Try to find positive things to do and to occupy yourself with, but don't just stay home ruminating and with the same thoughts and just going over and over again, because it's not gonna lead you anywhere. You're just fueling your anxiety more and more. But I'm gonna end up this video with saying that if you're suffering from the same, again, you're not alone. There's many of us that, it might seem like everything is good, but we are all suffering from something, so reach out to someone. Don't stay silent. Don't suffer in silence, and if you want, drop a comment and let me know your experiences with anxiety, with depression, or anything else. I have friends that are bipolar, so life is hard, man. Life can be hard, but if we help each other, we can make life a little easier for each other, and it should be about building each other up. But when you have the right people around you, 'cause some people will pretend that they want to build you up when all they want to do is tear you down. But ending this on a positive note, just go do something. Okay, get out of the house. I hope that everyone's doing well. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and leave a comment, just so that it gets the video out there, helps with the algorithm and all this stuff, and puts it out there for more people to see this. And I'm not a medical provider. I'm not, so always consult with your doctor or your therapist and all that, if you really need professional help. I'm just trying to help people throughout my experience, sharing my own experiences, and like someone that's been dealing with this most of my adult life. And I will make other videos about this. I will talk more about this, but for now, I hope that everyone's doing well. Okay.